This is part 3 of every moving thing. So Genesis chapter 9 verse 3, Noah, I think he's coming off the boat here. Where's my chapter? Noah comes off the boat, chapter 9 verse 3. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and increase and fill the earth. So Noah didn't only get a blessing, a covenant with the Creator. The fear and dread of you shall be upon all animals of the earth. Okay, let me go down to verse 3. Every creature that lives and moves shall be food for you. But the Creator just told you, like I said in the other verses I read, like Genesis 3:18 and so on, that this stuff is that grows from the earth is going to be food for you forever. That's what it says. Forever. But now he says here, the food is going to be the animals on the earth. Every creature that lives and moves shall be food for you, which is different from original instruction in Genesis chapter 1 verse 11, 1 verse 29 and 30. You see that? And chapter 3 verse 18. Every creature that lives and moves shall be food for you. In other words, in plain English, start eating the animals. Well, I'll read that part from the commentary later. I give you them all as once I gave you all green plants. But something is wrong with that. So now, he told the man when he just made it, this is what your food will be, fruits and so on with seeds in it. And now I'm going to give you animals to eat just as I gave you the original instruction to eat something else. So it's putting the animal eating on the same level as the proper food that he made the human body to live off. So why is he changing that? This is a schizophrenic God. I give them all as once I gave all green plants. But you must not eat the flesh with the life which is the blood still in it. And I just uploaded a video last night where, it's funny, I just uploaded last night, I can't remember the name of it. But still in it. So you're going to drain out the blood so you can eat it. I got another lesson coming with that. Okay, I don't need any more from that. Okay, now let's go look at this commentary so I can close out this lesson now. Or no, did I read from this as yet? Okay, I think I have one more to read from first. Okay, let's look at this one, the New Oxford Annotated Bible with Apocrypha. I hope I didn't read from this yet in the first part, so I'll be doubling it up, but I should catch it, hopefully. Genesis 1:11. Then God said, let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed. So the fruit and the seed should be in it. That's your food, he's saying. Then verse 29 and 30, now it says, God said, see, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And then he tells Noah something else is your food. So it's the same doubling up thing that I've told you about that I want to talk about one day. A double. Many of you may have heard in the Israelite community, Israel's redemption. I don't remember which lesson it was, but it was a long time ago I listened to it. She talked about Satan's double, how he uses a double. Right? And so to kind of double up on the whatever is right or good and true, he has a double for it. And here it is again, the eating instructions as a double. He said, eat the stuff that grows off the ground with fruit and seeds in it. And then he comes and he tells Noah a double kind of instruction to add to it to say, Eat the beasts of the earth, just as I have given you the stuff that grows out of the earth for food. Even though he already told you your food forever will be the food that grows out of the ground, with the seed in it. But that's this whole doubling up stuff, and that's how deception creeps in. Notice the picture I showed you earlier with the cross on it. You see the double? The serpent doctrine, serpent seeds, serpent stuff coming from the Ankh from Egypt, and the serpent teachings and serpent religions and all that. Double. One line going up and one line going across. No wonder we're so confused. Just like the doubling of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is there to trick you. Because the Creator knows there's a trick, He says, don't eat from that. Or God, or whoever He is that said that to them. Whoever in the world. It's all the big, just like... Anyway, let me not get sidetracked here. Verse 29 and 30 now. Okay, let's go to verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I've given every green plant for food. So He takes out the seed when it comes to the creatures. The seed bearing fruit with seed in itself is not given to the creatures. It's given to man. And He made that man in a male version and a female version, for male and female. That's what He created. Now let's run over to chapter 3 and verse 18. Thorns, okay, this part again where the curses happen now, and He says ground is going to be cursed for you. And then He says, thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. So now He takes out the seed right there. So you notice a subtle change. Still telling you about plants. So something that looks green or something like colorful like that. But the seed is come out of it. And it's like when I was a child, I didn't catch that. Now let's run over to this commentary I use sometimes. I've mentioned it in other videos before. When you hear me talk about it, that this is what I'm talking about. The Interpreter's 1-volume commentary of the Bible. I have the whole series of it. I guess it was popular a couple of decades ago when it was released. I've got the different ones, because then they got the other ones that break down for different letters, like A to D and whatever when you're searching on the Bible, E to whatever. Anyway, let's look at what they're saying here now. From Genesis chapter 9. P considers. Here the P I said I would talk about just a little bit. I don't want to mess with him too much today because he just, pisses me off. P considers the post-Diluvian age. First of all, who is this P person that's considering anything? Who is P? He is very irresponsible in not providing a link to him. You cannot write or edit the main book on earth that the Israelites are supposed to have, and that even Christians use, with 2.3 billion of them on earth, and write the main book of relationship with the Creator, and not have some way to trace you and to see your rough copies that you were working while you were working on this and so on. The family line of P should still be in the earth, and all the other Torah source editors, their lineage should have been preserved. They should still be on the earth, and you should be able to trace them and say, because people are right now tracing, oh, I'm a descendant of such and such a king from Britain from 500 years ago, or people are saying, oh, I'm from this other land and whatever, and my ancient whatever was whatever, and they trace it and have records and so on. The main book to tell you about the Creator who gave us life, and you edit His book, and nobody can trace you to go drive across town and to say he was your ancient double ancient grandfather, and we got some of his works right here, but the rest of it we don't have because they stole it from us and they put it in a museum, and now we got to pay and see it. But do you have anything from him, or do you even just have a story to say you are his descendant? No. Nobody can trace this mysterious P Torah source editor. Nobody can do that. very irresponsible. So now when I read the Torah, I got to pick and choose what I can believe, what I can think, what I can stomach. Because P doesn't act responsible enough for me to trust him, because I can't question him properly, just like his other friends or brothers that edited the Torah with him, the JPYE and so on. And then I learned as well that there are other source editors for the New Testament that have their own letters. And you don't normally hear about that. Who is doing this to the books that's supposed to connect you to the Creator? Or the better question, did the Creator give you any book? You see the camps out there in the churches, they don't like stuff like this because they don't like when people think. They don't like it. But hear what he says here in this commentary. P considers the post-diluvian age to be guided by divine moral enactments. So it's like the Creator was really active then, I guess, at the start, which have been modified from their original form at creation. See verses 2 to 3. And compare that with Genesis 1, 28 to 30. But basically, he's saying modification has happened, so something has changed. Who changed it? If the Creator does not change, he could not have changed it. This is more telling you that the book has changed. It is the book that has changed, not the Creator. That means something is wrong with a book that keeps changing itself while it keeps telling you that the Creator himself does not change. Malachi 3:6. The book changes, but the Creator does not change. Notice the plants keep growing because the Creator doesn't change. Animal keeps running around because the Creator doesn't change. But if somebody wants to change a plant, a fruit, or an animal, they put them in a lab and they experiment with them. Man changes the stuff, but the Creator doesn't change. If the Creator had already changed and changed the animals and the plants, people would not be experimenting with them to change them, because they would have already been changed to how you want them. But because the Creator does not change and he keeps stuff the same, then people got to say, we don't like this, we got to change that animal, we got to breed him with that, grow the orange with the mango and do that, and change it ourselves, because the Creator is being too same and has a lot of sameness about him with all these things. So when you find the word supposedly of God changing, that means the Creator didn't give you this book, the Creator didn't give you this Bible, the Creator didn't give you this stuff, man gave you this book. Woo! Man, like, come on, man. But you can use the book as a guide. If your ancient people wrote the Torah, you can use it as a guide for the wise sayings in it. But just remember, not everything you see is right, because the Torah is embedded within the Torah. I've told you so many times. The Torah, or proper teachings, real good teachings, is embedded inside the bad teachings. Torah is embedded in Torah. It is embedded, the truth is embedded in the public Torah, which is the given Torah that the public has been given. But the real truth is embedded and hidden inside of it, and you got to search and look to find it. And as far as I can tell, the Torah itself does not tell me. And if the Torah was written by our ancient forefathers who were Hebrews, they themselves are not telling me that their God of Israel wrote a book and handed it to them at first. Well, he would have handed it to Adam. Adam never said, I was reading on page 34, that it said this and that. You want to repent, you run to the book and you find out what to do. The priest said, go and wash like this, or go stay over there for your leprosy or whatever. You go to correct yourself, because they read it in a book. Adam never ran to the book and said, Eve, hurry, hold on, give me a sec, let me go and check the book to see how to get back on track before the Creator comes back to visit. Instead, he was running and hiding. If the book was a cure, why didn't he go and read the book? The Creator never gave him any. So he goes on now to say, it has been modified from original form at creation. God now permits the eating of flesh from which the blood, the symbol of life, has been drained. Compare Leviticus 7:26, Deuteronomy 12:16, won't bother read them, and specifically enjoins blood vengeance. No distinction is drawn between clean and unclean animals. No distinction. No distinction is drawn between clean and unclean. So if you say there were clean and unclean animals from creation, at what point did it change? If no distinction is made between clean and unclean animals coming to Noah from the Creator, why? It's not just an open law. The Creator is not telling you, open law you can eat, and then when he comes to the children of Israel, then he changes it again and say, now there are clean and unclean animals. You say, Noah would have known the clean and unclean animals. That's what you taught me. But when the Creator speaks, apparently he's not showing that difference. But then Israel finds out that difference. Something is wrong, people. The food has seeds in it. All of this trickery and confusion and double talk is meant to breed confusion in the mind. And that's what's plaguing a lot of people who say they are Hebrew Israelites. It is a kind of rupture in the brain or some sickness or illness that goes on in the mental area that does not allow us to think properly for ourselves. If the book is from the Creator and it is so confusing, you still have to live in a way where you don't succumb to the confusion. If the Creator is going to judge you later, you can say, the book was too confusing. You gave me a book that couldn't be figured out properly. So I did the best I could with it. But please at least think for yourself. The Creator will not change anything and then tell the man, no kind of difference between the animal. Just eat. All of it I'll give you on the earth, all these beasts to eat, Noah. All of it. Something is wrong with that. This kind of confusion is what led up to Calvary. A confusion among the Hebrews that said, no one man can be your sacrifice. No one man can, but that your repentance should be in your heart. For the sacrifices of the Creator are a broken heart, contrite spirit, turning yourself around from your heart, basically. That's true sacrifice. But then a confusing thing comes around now among the Hebrews saying their God was dying on Calvary. Isn't that confusion? The New Testament brings further confusion built upon the injected confusion in the Old Testament. And what if, as scary as it is, you should later hear somebody wrote the Torah who shouldn't have written it? From the teachings that the Hebrews had. Nah, you're not going to like that. I'm not telling you that at this point anyway. But it seems that the Hebrews had their own kind of thing. You know, and this whole stuff with the Hebrews, we have to take a look at this some more, because Hebrews can't just be so dumb to just look at the nations eating these animals to sacrifice to their God and go and do the same kind of sacrifices to the Most High as well and say we are different. That means the Hebrews were dumb in the scriptures. Sorry to curse you out like this. If you go to another planet, although we know they don't exist, but just for a story here, and you see people driving cars, are you going to say they're different from us? No, because we drive cars. So Israelites said through Moses to Pharaoh, like I posted up in my video last night. Oh, now I remember the lesson that I posted up was blood creatures. Don't eat from blood creatures. And say, let us go, Pharaoh, so we can go sacrifice to our God. Egypt is doing the same kind of sacrifices. Why don't you just stay and do it in Egypt? It's not like they were in Jerusalem. I just don't get it, people. When will we think? Egypt, you should not be like the Egyptians, but Egyptians are sacrificing to their God that gave them power to enslave you, and you're going to leave to go and sacrifice the same way they do, where they get their power of evil from. and say you are different from them, even though your God says, do not do as the Egyptians do. And then look what you do with your smart Hebrew Israelite mind of wisdom from the Torah. You ask him, the Pharaoh, permission. Let us go so we can go sacrifice.